Listen carefully. If you're tired of quick fixes, empty promises, and fleeting success, then it's time to understand one critical truth. Delayed gratification is the secret to lasting achievement. This is the power that can take you from instant results to real, sustainable success. Every moment you choose immediate pleasure over long-term gain, you're trading away your future potential. The ones who succeed, the ones who build empires, the ones who make a real impact, they wait. They understand the cost of now, the price of patience, and how every choice today builds tomorrow. This is your moment to choose quick satisfaction or lasting success. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Stop seeking instant gratification. Start building your future. Listen up. There's no time to waste. You are either building your future right now, or you're wasting time on short-term pleasures that won't matter in 5 years, 10 years, or 20. You have a choice. That's the key. To make the decision to stop seeking instant gratification and start laying the foundation for your future success. You want the good life. You want to feel fulfilled and accomplished. Then stop feeding the beast of instant pleasure. That's the problem. You're chasing instant gratification. And it's costing you. It's costing you your future. It's robbing you of your potential. Let's get clear on what instant gratification really is. It's the desire to experience pleasure or fulfillment without delay. It's choosing the quick win, the temporary high, over the long-term reward. Think about it. How many times have you put off working on your goals because you were too busy checking social media, eating junk food, or binge-watching another episode? You have a choice. You can choose to postpone that quick pleasure and invest in your future. But here's the truth. Our culture today glorifies instant gratification. It's everywhere, from social media likes to fast food, from impulse shopping to the constant need for validation. It's quick, it's easy, and it gives you a hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical, right away. But it's shallow, it's temporary, and it's keeping you stuck. You want something real, something that lasts? You need to step away from that instant pleasure and start investing in delayed gratification. Because the true winners, they know this. Success takes time, and it's not easy. It's not instant, immediate versus long-term success. Let's break it down. Immediate gratification is about getting what you want right now. It feels good in the moment, doesn't it? But it's fleeting. It doesn't last. You feel good for a minute, but then what? You feel empty. You feel unfulfilled. Because you didn't build anything real. That's the difference. Short-term pleasures build nothing. They just fill up time and leave you exactly where you started. Now, long-term success? That's different. Long-term success requires patience, focus, and sacrifice. It requires discipline. But when you master delayed gratification, you're not just looking for that next high, that next quick fix. You're building something real. You're building your future. I'm talking about delayed fulfillment. Doing the hard work now, when no one's watching, when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, so that you can enjoy the rewards later. It's the difference between a person who lives for today and someone who invests in tomorrow. That is the difference between someone who looks back with regret and someone who looks back with pride. Let's be honest, you don't need their permission. You don't need the world's approval. You just need to stay focused, stay disciplined, and understand that the most successful people in the world didn't get where they are by taking the easy road. They got there by saying no to the quick wins and saying yes to the long, hard grind. The urgency to change. Now, listen to me carefully. You have a choice right now. You can keep on chasing that quick pleasure, that instant hit, and keep spinning your wheels, or you can make a radical decision to stop. The truth is, the world is built on delayed gratification. Every successful person you look up to made the choice to build something over time. And now it's your turn. That's the urgency. This is not something you can push off for later. Your future starts now. Your future is shaped by every choice you make. Every moment you waste seeking instant pleasure is a moment you'll never get back. Every moment you choose to work toward your goals, to invest in yourself, is a step closer to the life you want. Right now, you're at a crossroads, and the decisions you make today, the choices you make about how to spend your time, will shape your future. It's time to stop wasting your time on things that don't matter. If you're constantly grabbing for quick pleasures, you're training your brain to look for the easy way out. And that has consequences. You're not building muscle. You're not building discipline. You're not building your future. You're just feeding an addiction. But here's the good news. You can change that right now, in this moment. You can decide to start investing in your future. You can decide to stop seeking instant gratification and start laying the foundation for your long-term success. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen, and it will be worth it. Chapter 2. The true cost of immediate pleasure. What you're sacrificing. Let me hit you with a cold, hard truth. Every time you choose instant pleasure, you're sacrificing something bigger. You're not just giving up a moment. You're trading your future for a fleeting high. You have a choice. That's the key. You can keep feeding this cycle, or you can wake up and realize what it's really costing you. But here's the thing. Most people don't see it. They don't see the cost. This is the truth. Immediate pleasure costs you far more than you think. It's not just money, time, or energy. Your health, your relationships, your dreams. You are trading everything important for a few seconds of feeling good. That's the truth. Financial consequences, the price. You pay for impulse. Let's start with money. Think about the impulse buys, the stuff you pick up because it feels good in the moment. New clothes, the latest tech, that food you didn't need. I get it. It feels good to buy something. Instant gratification, right? But here is the truth. Every dollar spent on impulse is a dollar you could be invested in your future. Every time you swipe that card without thinking about tomorrow, you're putting your future financial stability on the line. That's the cost. It's not just about what you buy, it's about what you don't buy. It's about the opportunities you miss when you choose temporary pleasure over long-term wealth. Think about your retirement, the investments you're not making because you're spending now. Do you want to be the person looking back with regret, wondering where all the money went? Or do you want to be the one who invested in their future and built wealth over time? You have a choice. That's the key. Make the decision today to stop the cycle. Save, invest, and build. Stop letting short-term pleasures drain your potential. Now let's talk about your health. How many times have you eaten the fast food, skipped the workout, stayed up late binging TV? In the moment, it feels good. Your body gets that temporary relief. But here's the truth. You're sacrificing long-term health for short-term pleasure. You know what I'm talking about. That junk food. It feels good going down, but it's killing your body in the long run. That Netflix binge. It's robbing you of sleep, leaving you sluggish and tired tomorrow. Every time you choose to indulge without thinking about the consequences, you're sacrificing your vitality, your energy, your well-being. That's the cost. You have a choice. Do you want to feel good today at the expense of your tomorrow? Or do you want to make the hard choice now? Take care of your body, stay healthy, and build a foundation of energy that will carry you through the years. Remember, it's not about giving up enjoyment. It's about balance. It's about having the strength to say, not now, not today, knowing that you're building the future version of yourself that's stronger, healthier, and more capable. Now let's take a hard look at your relationships. Instant gratification is destroying real connections. We're all guilty of it. A text that goes unanswered because we're scrolling on our phones. A conversation that gets cut short because we're busy doing something else. We seek instant validation through likes, comments, and superficial interactions. But here's the truth. This is costing you real connection, real fulfillment. Every time you choose instant satisfaction over meaningful engagement, you're sacrificing the relationships that matter most. You're too busy chasing the momentary high to nurture the people around you. And that's a problem, because without deep, real relationships, everything else you achieve is hollow. If you want the life you dream about, you need more than just success. You need real fulfillment, the kind that comes from building lasting relationships, from showing up for people who matter, and from putting in the work that isn't always visible or immediate. You have a choice. That's the key. Stop sacrificing your relationships for a quick fix. Show up. Be present. Take the time to build deep, lasting connections that will fuel you for the long haul. You can't buy that with quick hits of dopamine. Your dreams. Sacrificing your potential for short-term satisfaction. Finally, let's talk about your dreams. Immediate gratification is killing your potential. Every time you choose the easy way over the hard work, you are pushing your dreams further out of reach. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's choosing Netflix over learning that new skill, or scrolling through social media instead of working on your business. The truth is, you're giving up your future self. That's the cost. Your dreams are not built by sitting around waiting for something to happen. They are built by making uncomfortable choices today. By investing in your personal growth, your knowledge, your skills, you have a choice. That's the key. Every time you choose the easy option, you're putting your dreams on the back burner. But when you choose delayed gratification, you're making the investment today that will pay off in ways you can't even imagine. So, ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice for your future? Chapter 3. Why patience equals power. Unlocking the mental toughness. I need you to hear me now. Patience is not just a virtue, it is the key to unshakable power. In a world that demands instant results, those who can master patience become the true powerhouses. The truth is, patience is not about sitting back and waiting. It's about strength. It's about developing mental toughness that allows you to push through the pain, the discomfort, the delay, and still come out victorious. This isn't just a soft, feel-good message. This is your path to mental toughness. That's the key. Patience equals power. It's time to stop seeing patience as weakness. Patience is strength. It's the ability to endure, to stay committed, to work toward the future, knowing it will pay off. So, if you're looking for power, it's time to stop rushing and start mastering patience. Let me be clear. Patience is not passivity. It's not about sitting on your hands and doing nothing. That's the lie people tell you. Patience is about active endurance. It's the ability to keep working, keep pushing, keep showing up, even when you don't see immediate results. You're in it for the long haul. Patience means you're willing to endure the discomfort now for the reward later. That's the difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't. The ones who succeed are the ones who can stay in the game, even when the game is hard. They don't bail out when things get difficult. They push through. Here's a simple truth. You cannot build lasting success without patience. You cannot create something powerful, something real, something worthwhile if you can't wait for it. That's the key. Patience is your ability to stay the course. It is the mark of true power. So what is mental toughness? Mental toughness is the ability to stay focused and resilient under pressure. It's the strength to handle disappointment, discomfort, and delay, and still keep going. It's the willingness to do what others won't do, to stay committed when everyone else is looking for an escape. Let's break it down. You think mental toughness comes from always being strong, always being perfect, right? Wrong. Mental toughness comes from being able to stay in the game when it gets tough. And that means sometimes sitting in the discomfort of delay. Sometimes you have to sit with the itch of impatience, the discomfort of waiting, and still show up. Patience builds that toughness. Every time you choose the delayed reward, you build your mental muscle. And every time you choose the easy, quick pleasure, you lose a little bit of that muscle. That's the key, your ability to endure and stay committed to your goals, no matter how long it takes. Here's the real kicker. Patience is not just for the weak. It's for the smart, the strategic, the successful. In a world where everyone is looking for instant results, patience gives you the edge. Think about it. While everyone else is distracted by the instant fix, you're quietly building your success. The tortoise always wins the race, not because he's faster, but because he's consistent. He's willing to keep moving, even when the finish line seems far away. That's the power of patience. It gives you the mental edge over everyone who can't sit still. It allows you to build long-term wealth, health, and success when others are out of the game. Patience is not a weakness. It's your competitive advantage in a world that values the short-term high. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but how do I actually build patience? How do I make it a part of my life? You're not alone. This isn't easy. But here's how you start. Step 1. Commit to the long-term vision. You must visualize the end goal. You need to see the reward on the other side of your patience. If you can't see the reward, you won't make it through the grind. Remind yourself constantly of what you're working toward. If you can keep the big picture in your mind, the small sacrifices won't hurt so much. Step 2. Break it down into manageable steps. It's easier to be patient when you break the process into small, actionable steps. Focus on the next step, not the end goal. Patience becomes easier when you're consistently making progress, even if it's slow. Step 3. Develop the habit of delayed gratification. Every time you're faced with an opportunity for instant pleasure, stop and ask yourself, what is the real cost of this? Pause and make the conscious decision to wait. Delay the small rewards for something greater. It's about saying no to the short-term high so you can say yes to your long-term dreams. Step 4. Embrace discomfort. Mental toughness comes from embracing discomfort. You're not going to grow if everything is easy. You have to get comfortable with discomfort. That's where the magic happens, when you sit in the discomfort and choose to push through. Here's where it all comes together. Patience leads to consistency. And consistency is the foundation of power. Patience is not about avoiding challenges. It's about consistently doing what you need to do, day in and day out, even when the results aren't immediately visible. You know this to be true. The real power is in the long game. And guess what? The person who has the mental toughness to play the long game always wins. The person who chooses to endure, to delay their gratification, will come out ahead. That's the key. Chapter 4. The Millionaire's Mindset. How Delayed Gratification Shapes Wealth. Listen up. The wealthiest people in the world are not those who seek instant rewards. No, the real millionaires, the ones who build lasting empires, are the ones who have mastered delayed gratification. They understand the power of making sacrifices today for the abundance of tomorrow. You want to be wealthy. You want the lifestyle, the freedom, the success. Then stop looking for quick fixes. You have a choice. You can keep chasing the instant highs of material pleasure, or you can build your wealth slowly, steadily, and powerfully. That's the key. Delayed gratification is the foundation of wealth. Let's get one thing straight. No one builds wealth by seeking instant gratification. Wealth isn't built by spending money on things that bring you joy for a few hours. It's built by making strategic sacrifices, choosing investments over expenditures, and having the patience to let your money grow. Think about it. Every millionaire you admire, the ones with real wealth, didn't get there by buying things on impulse. They got there by investing in their future. They delayed their own desires for long-term security and the freedom to live life on their terms. Here's the truth. The wealth you're seeking won't come from quick wins. It will come from patience, delaying your spending, making smart investments, and sticking to your plan, no matter how slow the progress seems. You have a choice. You can live for today and spend for today, or you can make the choice to invest in tomorrow, to sacrifice a little now for something much greater down the road. That's the key. The millionaires didn't just work hard. They worked smart. They made their money grow while others spent theirs. Let's talk about investing. It's not just about throwing money into stocks or real estate. It's about investing in yourself. The richest people in the world invest in their knowledge, their skills, and their future. Every time they sacrifice the short-term pleasure of spending, they are building their wealth for the future. Every time you choose the delayed reward, you're making an investment in your long-term success. Whether it's putting off buying something unnecessary, choosing to save your money, or investing in courses, mentors, or your own development, you're building something far more powerful than any quick gratification can give you. Don't be fooled by the world telling you that you need to keep up with the latest trends or always have the newest gadget. True wealth comes from using your resources wisely, and that requires patience. Now, let's get into the millionaire's mentality. What do all wealthy people have in common? They think long-term. They make decisions today with an eye on tomorrow. While the rest of the world is looking for quick rewards, they're focused on building long-term value. Take Warren Buffett, for example, one of the wealthiest men in the world. He didn't get there by flipping stocks every day, by buying the latest gadgets, or by jumping at the next get-rich-quick scheme. He got there by being patient, by holding his investments for decades, not worrying about the ups and downs in the market, and letting time do the work for him. That's the key. It's not about hustling for quick returns. It's about having the patience to let things grow. The wealthiest people are in it for the long haul. They are not looking for instant gratification. They are looking for long-term, sustainable success. Let's take a closer look at some real-world examples of delayed gratification in practice. Think about Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. He didn't become a billionaire overnight. He built Amazon from the ground up, and for years he barely paid himself a salary. Why? Because he was investing in the future. He was putting everything he could back into the business to make it grow. And then there's Elon Musk. He took the money he made from selling PayPal and invested it all into his next ventures, SpaceX, Tesla, and SolarCity. He wasn't looking for short-term profits. He was looking to change the world. His strategy? Make massive sacrifices today to make those companies successful in the future. And now, he's one of the richest men on the planet. These examples prove it. The richest people know the game. They understand that true wealth is built by making smart choices over time, not by chasing every shiny object that comes their way. Now, let's talk about the cost of instant gratification in the context of wealth building. Every time you indulge in the impulse to buy something, every time you go for the quick fix, you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to invest in your future. The truth is, every small impulse adds up. Those small, unnecessary purchases you make, they could have been money you invested. Instead, you're spending it on things that don't move you closer to your goals. And over time, this adds up. That's the cost. You're sacrificing future wealth for momentary pleasure. So how do you develop this millionaire's patience? How do you start thinking long-term and making the decisions that will pay off in the future? Step 1. Start with the big picture. You need to have a vision for your future. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. Visualize your long-term goals, your wealth, your lifestyle, your impact on the world, and use that as your guide. Step 2. Practice consistent investing. It's not about making one big move. It's about making small, consistent investments. Start small. Invest in your education, your skills, your health, your finances, and watch it grow over time. That's how you build wealth. Step 3. Stop chasing instant gratification. You have to recognize that the quick fix will only take you so far. If you want to build real wealth, you need to delay your pleasures now so that you can reap the rewards later. Chapter 5. The science behind delayed gratification. How your brain is wired for long-term success. You've heard it, now let's back it up with science. Your brain is wired to seek immediate rewards. It's a survival mechanism. You're hardwired to enjoy instant pleasure, to seek out the quick win, the fast satisfaction. But here's the kicker, your brain can be rewired. And once you understand the science behind delayed gratification, you'll realize it's not just a choice, it's a biological advantage. So, I need you to listen up. What you're about to learn isn't theory, it's science-backed truth. When you master delayed gratification, you're not just making better choices, you're training your brain for long-term success. That's the key. Delaying pleasure actually makes you stronger, smarter and more successful. Let's break down how delayed gratification works and why it's a game changer for your life. The brain's reward system, instant gratification versus long-term gain. Let's start with the brain's reward system. When you act on impulse, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. It's the same chemical that floods your brain when you win, when you're praised, or when you enjoy something pleasurable. It's your brain's way of saying, "Good job. You did something that felt good." Here's the problem. Instant gratification gives you a rush of dopamine, but it's short-lived. That's the catch. It's a quick high that leaves you wanting more. The more you chase these dopamine hits, the more you train your brain to seek out short-term rewards, and the harder it becomes to resist them. This creates a cycle of constant seeking, never truly satisfied. But when you choose delayed gratification, something different happens. Your brain still gets dopamine, but it's spread out. You get a reward over time, not right away. This is where the real magic happens. Your brain learns to wait for the bigger payoff, and that patience strengthens your mental resolve. That's the key. Delaying gratification rewires your brain to focus on long-term success instead of instant pleasure. Neuroscience of delayed gratification. How to rewire your brain. Now, let's talk about neuroscience. Your brain is incredibly plastic. It can change, it can grow, and it can learn. Neuroplasticity means your brain has the ability to rewire itself based on your experiences and choices. So when you practice delayed gratification, you're literally rewiring your brain for future success. Here's the science. The prefrontal cortex. The part of your brain responsible for decision-making and planning is key in delayed gratification. This part of your brain helps you think ahead, plan for the future, and control impulses. The more you exercise this part of your brain, the stronger it becomes. Studies show that people who are better at delaying gratification have a stronger prefrontal cortex, and that's why they're more successful. They can manage their impulses, make better decisions, and stay focused on the bigger picture. You have a choice. You can continue to feed the dopamine cycle and stay stuck in the short-term pleasure loop, or you can start strengthening your prefrontal cortex by practicing delayed gratification. Every time you resist that instant temptation, you're building your brain's ability to focus on the long-term reward. The marshmallow experiment. Delayed gratification in action. You've probably heard of the marshmallow experiment. It's one of the most famous studies on delayed gratification. In the study, children were given a choice. They could eat one marshmallow immediately, or they could wait 15 minutes and get 2 marshmallows. The results were astounding. The children who waited for the second marshmallow, the ones who practiced delayed gratification, tended to have better life outcomes. They did better in school, had higher SAT scores, and even had better health as they got older. That's the key. Delaying gratification isn't just a habit. It's a predictor of future success. So, what does this mean for you? Your ability to delay gratification today is directly linked to your success tomorrow. The more you practice delaying immediate rewards for something bigger, the more you set yourself up for long-term success. That's the science. How to train your brain for long-term success. All right, now that we know the science behind delayed gratification, let's talk about how to actually train your brain. How do you turn this knowledge into action? Step 1. Start small. You can't go from instant gratification to total self-control overnight. Start small. Say no to a small impulse. Skip one purchase. Choose a healthier snack. Take that small moment of discomfort and let it build. That's the muscle. You're exercising your prefrontal cortex. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And before you know it, you'll start delaying gratification without even thinking about it. Step 2. Create bigger rewards for yourself. Your brain needs to see the payoff, so make the rewards worth it. If you're delaying a pleasure now, make sure you're getting something bigger down the line. When you do the hard work today, your future self will thank you. Create a system where the delayed gratification feels worth it. The bigger the reward, the easier it is to wait. Step 3. Stay focused on the long-term goal. Every time you feel that temptation to give in to instant pleasure, remind yourself of your long-term goals. Remember why you're waiting. The reward you get later is far more valuable than the momentary pleasure you'd get now. Keep your eyes on the prize. If you can see the big picture, resisting instant gratification becomes much easier. Step 4. Use positive reinforcement. Celebrate your small victories. Every time you resist the urge for instant gratification, congratulate yourself. That's the key. Positive reinforcement strengthens your ability to delay gratification. The more you practice and reward yourself, the stronger your mental muscles get. Chapter 6. Break the cycle. How to overcome the urge for instant rewards. You've learned about the cost of instant gratification. You've learned the science behind delayed gratification and why it's essential for success. Now we're going to tackle the hardest part, breaking the cycle. You have a choice. That's the key. You can keep giving in to your impulses, or you can finally break free and start mastering delayed gratification. But let's be real, the urge for instant rewards is powerful. It's ingrained in us, and the harder you try to resist, the stronger the pull can seem. But I'm telling you, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about learning how to control your impulses little by little until you become the master of your own choices. Let's dive into how you can break the cycle for good. Recognizing the urge. Awareness is the first step. The first thing you need to do is recognize the urge when it happens. I'm talking about awareness, being able to identify that moment when you feel the impulse for instant gratification. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it's sneaky. You'll feel the need to check your phone, to order that pizza, to scroll through social media for just 5 more minutes. It's subtle, but it's powerful. You have a choice. When you recognize the urge, you've already won half the battle. That's the key, awareness. Once you're aware, you can choose to act differently. But if you keep going on autopilot, that's where the problems start. The cycle continues. So pay attention. Pay attention to when those impulses hit you. The more aware you become of these moments, the easier it will be to control them. And the more you control them, the more power you gain over your choices. Why you feel the urge. Understanding your brain's desires. Now, let's dive deeper. Why do we feel the urge for instant rewards? It all comes down to that dopamine rush we talked about earlier. Every time you give in to the urge, your brain gets a quick hit of pleasure. It feels good. It's a reward system, and it works fast. But here's the problem. Every time you give in to these short-term pleasures, your brain strengthens that desire. That's the key. The more you feed the impulse, the stronger it gets. The more you feed it, the more you teach your brain that it's okay to act on impulse. You're not only satisfying the urge in the moment, you're reinforcing it for the future. But you don't need to live like that. You can retrain your brain. You can start making different choices that break the cycle of instant gratification and begin building a new, healthier pattern, creating new patterns, replacing instant gratification with positive delays. Here's where the real work begins. Breaking the cycle of instant gratification means creating new patterns. The goal isn't just to resist temptation. The goal is to create new habits that reinforce long-term success. So, how do you do it? Step 1. Start small, build gradually. Don't expect to change everything overnight. Start small. Choose one thing you can delay today. Maybe it's choosing water over soda. Maybe it's putting down your phone for 15 minutes and focusing on something productive. Start small, but do it consistently. That's the key. Small wins add up over time. Start by delaying the small rewards and gradually build up your capacity to delay the bigger ones. Every time you say no to instant gratification, you build a new habit. You reinforce your mental toughness. You are reprogramming your brain to value delayed rewards. Step 2. Replace instant gratification with long-term rewards. When you feel the urge for instant gratification, redirect it. Replace the quick reward with a long-term benefit. For example, instead of scrolling through your phone for a dopamine hit, take 10 minutes to plan your goals or read a chapter in a book that helps you grow. Instead of buying something you don't need, put that money aside for savings or an investment. You need to create a positive reinforcement loop. Every time you delay gratification and replace it with a healthier, more productive choice, your brain will start to associate patience with growth. This, in turn, will make it easier to resist the next urge. Step 3. Accountability and tracking progress. Here's a powerful tool. Accountability. Tell someone your goals. Share with them your desire to break the cycle of instant gratification. And then, hold yourself accountable. Tracking your progress is critical. When you start seeing the benefits of delaying gratification, you'll want to keep going. You'll start to feel the satisfaction of delayed rewards, and that satisfaction will replace the momentary pleasure of the impulse. That's the key. Tracking your wins, however small, reinforces the positive behavior. When you see yourself succeeding, you'll have more confidence to keep going. Embrace the discomfort. Delaying gratification is hard, but it's worth it. Let's talk about discomfort. Delaying gratification is uncomfortable. It's not easy to resist the impulse. It feels like you're giving up something right now, and it can feel like a sacrifice. But here's the truth. Discomfort is where the growth happens. The people who are successful, the people who reach their goals, they've learned to sit in discomfort. They've learned to endure the temporary pain of delayed gratification for the long-term benefits. And guess what? The discomfort doesn't last forever. It's temporary. When you get used to sitting with discomfort and pushing through, it becomes easier. That's the key. You become mentally tougher every time you resist the urge to give in. The power of consistency. How small delays lead to big results. Now, let's talk about consistency. The real power of delayed gratification lies in consistency. It's not about perfect self-control every time. It's about consistently making the better choice, day after day. Every time you say no to the instant reward, you're building your future. Every time you resist the urge to indulge, you're reinforcing a habit that will lead to success. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. It's the little sacrifices made over and over again that add up to massive results. The small delays today lead to massive rewards tomorrow. That's the key. Consistency turns delayed gratification into success. Chapter 7. Small sacrifices, big payoffs. Why little delays lead to massive results. I want you to stop and think for a second. What's the difference between a person who gets results and someone who doesn't? It's simple. The person who succeeds is the one who consistently makes small sacrifices day in and day out. They're not looking for big, dramatic changes. They're looking for small, incremental improvements that add up over time. That's the key. Small sacrifices made consistently lead to massive payoffs. It's not about some huge, life-changing decision. It's about doing the little things that set you up for success every single day. You've heard the saying, success is built one brick at a time. But it's the truth. Every time you delay a small gratification, every time you make the choice to work now for a better future, you're laying the foundation for something huge. The power of small sacrifices. Let's break it down. A small sacrifice doesn't feel like much at the moment. It's easy to brush it off. Maybe it's deciding not to buy that extra coffee. Maybe it's putting down your phone for 10 minutes to get some work done. Maybe it's skipping the movie night to focus on your goals. None of these things feel like monumental decisions in the moment. But here's the thing, those small decisions compound over time. And when you make them consistently, day after day, you're building something powerful. Think about it this way. If you delay a small pleasure today, you free up energy and focus for tomorrow. You're setting yourself up for a future where those small choices lead to bigger opportunities. That's the key. Small sacrifices today turn into massive rewards tomorrow. Small delays, big results. The compound effect. This isn't just some motivational fluff. This is science. It's called the compound effect. The idea that small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, can lead to big results. For example, let's say you start saving just $5 a day. It doesn't feel like much, but over a year, that's over $1,300, and if you invest that money wisely, it can grow even more. That's the compound effect. The same goes for health, learning, and personal growth. Every time you decide to work out for 20 minutes instead of binge-watching TV, you're building a healthier body over time. Every time you choose to read instead of scrolling through social media, you're building a wealth of knowledge that pays off down the road. The small delays compound into something massive. That's the key. These small choices, these little sacrifices, don't seem like much at first. But over time, they turn into a powerful force that drives you toward your ultimate success. You have a choice. You can choose the small sacrifices now, or you can wait until the big payoffs are out of reach. Let me tell you something. Consistency is the real secret. It's not the big moments. It's not the dramatic breakthroughs. It's the small, consistent actions that lead to success. You want to be a millionaire. It's not about waiting for one big deal to change your life. It's about consistently saving, investing, and growing over time. You want to be in the best shape of your life. It's not about doing one intense workout. It's about working out regularly, even when you don't feel like it. That's the key, consistency. It's the small sacrifices made regularly that add up. And here's what's amazing. As you continue to make those small sacrifices, it gets easier. The more you practice delayed gratification, the more natural it becomes to choose long-term benefits over instant rewards. Real-world examples, the impact of small sacrifices. Let's look at real-world examples. You know who didn't get rich overnight? Warren Buffett. He didn't start with a big investment or a huge payout. He made small, smart investments over time, sticking with them and letting them grow. He was patient, and it paid off. Now let's talk about athletes. LeBron James, for example. He didn't get to the top by practicing once a week. He's practicing every day. Every time he steps into the gym, it's a small sacrifice, putting in the work day after day to stay at the top of his game. That's the key. He's not looking for quick fixes. He's looking for long-term gains, and those small sacrifices add up over time. You have a choice. You can choose the quick fix, or you can choose the path of consistent, small actions that will get you closer to your goal. The choice is yours. The truth about instant gratification. Now, let's get real about instant gratification. Instant rewards feel good in the moment, don't they? But they're empty. They don't add up. They don't lead to long-term success. They don't build wealth, health, or happiness. Every time you give in to instant gratification, you're ignoring the long-term payoff that comes from small, consistent sacrifices. That's the key. You need to resist the urge for quick rewards and focus on what will truly benefit you in the long run. Every time you delay that immediate pleasure, you're choosing your future over your present, and that's how success is built. Creating your own path to success. Small sacrifices, big payoffs. So how do you start making those small sacrifices? Start small. Choose one area of your life where you can delay gratification. Maybe it's saving a bit more money instead of spending on unnecessary items. Maybe it's investing time in learning rather than binge-watching TV. Maybe it's getting to the gym, even when you'd rather take it easy. But here's the secret. Consistency is everything. You have a choice. You can choose to make those small sacrifices today, or you can keep delaying success by choosing instant rewards. You don't need to make a big, dramatic change. Start with one small sacrifice and build from there. Over time, those sacrifices will pay off, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish when you stay consistent and stay focused. Chapter 8. Master your emotions, master your life. Emotional control as a success tool. Let's get this straight. Your emotions don't control you. You control them. If you want to be successful, truly successful, you need to master your emotions. That's the key. Emotional control is not just a nice to have, it's a must-have. If you can control your emotions, you can control your life. Here's the truth. Success is not about avoiding stress, frustration, or anger. It's about learning how to respond to those emotions in a way that doesn't sabotage your future. That's the key, your ability to respond, not react. Your ability to stay calm under pressure. To make decisions that align with your goals, not your impulses. Emotional control is the cornerstone of everything you want to achieve. Master your emotions, and you master your destiny. The power of emotional control. So, what is emotional control? It's the ability to keep your emotions in check. It's about not letting your feelings dictate your actions. It's about responding thoughtfully, not reacting impulsively. Now, let's be clear. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It doesn't mean you never feel anger, frustration, or sadness. It means you control how you express those emotions. It means not letting them dictate your actions or decisions. If you let your emotions take over, you end up making choices that don't serve you. You end up saying things you don't mean, doing things you regret. That's the key. Emotional control means choosing your response, even when you feel like reacting. The link between emotions and success. You might not realize this, but your emotions are powerful drivers of your actions. When you're angry, frustrated, or anxious, you're more likely to make impulsive decisions, the very thing that kills your long-term success. That's the key. Emotions can either propel you forward or hold you back. The choice is yours. When you can control your emotions, you don't act out of frustration or fear. You make decisions based on logic, strategy, and your long-term goals. That's the difference between a successful person and someone who keeps spinning their wheels. Think about the successful people you admire. They are calm. They are collected. They know that success requires rational decision-making in the face of emotion. They don't react impulsively. They act deliberately. And you can do that too. That's the key. Deliberate action, not impulsive reaction. How emotional control leads to better decision-making. The truth is, emotional control directly impacts your decision-making. When you let your emotions take over, you're making decisions based on how you feel in the moment, not on the long-term outcome. This leads to poor decisions, missed opportunities, and regret. But when you learn to control your emotions, you make decisions based on logic and strategy. You're able to think through the situation, weigh the pros and cons, and make a decision that's in alignment with your goals, not your impulses. That's the key. Calm decision-making. Emotional control allows you to make decisions with clarity and confidence, even when the pressure is on. Think about this. Have you ever made a decision in a rush, driven by anger or frustration? How did that turn out for you? Probably not great. Now think about a time when you stayed calm, took a deep breath, and made a thoughtful decision. How did that turn out? That's the power of emotional control. The science behind emotional control, how your brain reacts to stress. Now, let's dive into the science. When you're stressed, anxious, or angry, your brain goes into fight or flight mode. Your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for emotions, takes over, and suddenly your rational thinking takes a back seat. You're on autopilot. And when your brain is in this state, you're more likely to make rash decisions. But here's the good news. You can retrain your brain. By practicing emotional control, you're teaching your brain to slow down, to think before reacting. That's the key. You're turning off the fight or flight response and activating your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's responsible for logical thinking and decision-making. The more you practice emotional control, the better your brain gets at handling stress. It doesn't mean stress won't come. It just means you'll be able to manage it without letting it control your decisions. How to practice emotional control in real life. All right, now let's get practical. How do you practice emotional control in your daily life? Step 1. Pause before you act. Whenever you feel yourself getting triggered, pause. Take a deep breath. Count to 10. Give yourself the space to think before reacting. This simple pause gives your brain time to process the situation and respond thoughtfully, instead of impulsively. Step 2. Reframe the situation. When you're feeling emotional, it's easy to see things in black and white. But life is rarely that simple. Reframe the situation. Ask yourself, what's the bigger picture here? What's really at stake? This reframing helps you detach from the emotion and focus on the facts. Step 3. Focus on your long-term goals. When emotions rise, remember your bigger goals. The next time you feel angry or frustrated, remind yourself that your long-term success is more important than that momentary feeling. That's the key. When you focus on your bigger vision, your emotions don't have the same power over you. Step 4. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to stay present in the moment without judgment. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you train your brain to stay calm and focused when emotions arise. This gives you the tools to respond instead of reacting. The benefits of emotional control. When you master emotional control, everything changes. You become more focused. You make better decisions. You stop being a slave to your emotions and start being the master of them. That's the key. Emotional control gives you the clarity and focus you need to achieve your goals. It's a superpower that helps you stay grounded no matter what life throws at you. And when you're grounded, you become unstoppable. You'll stop letting your emotions derail you. You'll stay focused on your goals, and ultimately you'll win. Chapter 9. Delayed gratification in action. Real-world examples of unstoppable success. Now that you understand the science, the practice and the mental toughness behind delayed gratification, let's talk about how this actually plays out in the real world. You've heard the theory. Now, let's see it in action. That's the key. Delayed gratification is not just a concept. It's a way of life for the world's most successful individuals. Every powerful story, every person you look up to who has achieved something great, didn't get there by seeking the quick reward. They got there because they understood the true power of waiting for the bigger payoff. And they stuck to it. They made consistent sacrifices, day in and day out, trusting the process. This chapter is about real-world examples of people who turned delayed gratification into success, people who saw the bigger picture and made small sacrifices to achieve greatness. Warren Buffett. The power of patience in investing. Let's start with one of the most well-known examples of delayed gratification in action. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett didn't become a billionaire overnight. He didn't make his fortune by jumping from one investment to the next. He built his wealth by investing wisely, holding on, and waiting. When everyone else was chasing the latest trends, Warren Buffett was quietly sitting back, patiently investing in businesses that were built for the long term. He didn't care about the market's daily fluctuations. That's the key. He was focused on the long-term growth, not the immediate results. His patience paid off. He wasn't in a rush. He made small investments, allowed them to grow, and watched his wealth compound over decades. Buffett's mindset was simple. If you don't wait for the long-term rewards, you'll miss out on the biggest payoffs. Warren Buffett's success isn't about gambling for a quick win. It's about investing in the future, trusting the process, and letting the rewards come. That's the key. Delayed gratification in action. Jeff Bezos, a millionaire who played the long game. Here's another example. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Jeff Bezos didn't become one of the richest men in the world by focusing on short-term profits. He built Amazon from scratch, and for years he poured every dollar back into the business. He didn't prioritize short-term success. He prioritized long-term growth. For years, Amazon wasn't profitable. Bezos didn't rush to make money right away. He delayed immediate returns, knowing that if he played the long game, the reward would be far greater. Bezos understood the power of delayed gratification. He sacrificed short-term profits for future success. That's the key. He was willing to invest in the future, even when it meant delaying personal wealth in the short run. Today, Amazon is a trillion-dollar company. Bezos is one of the wealthiest people on the planet. That's the result of delayed gratification, sacrificing for the future, staying committed to the long-term goal, and building something massive over time. Elon Musk, sacrificing to build the future. Then there's Elon Musk. Elon Musk didn't come from money. He didn't get a quick break. He invested every single penny he made from the sale of PayPal into his new ventures, SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City. He wasn't looking for immediate profits. He was building for the future. At one point, Musk had to borrow money to pay rent. He was risking everything on his dreams. He could have easily taken the easy route, built a quick profit business, cashed out, and moved on. But that's not what he did. Instead, he chose to sacrifice the short-term rewards and play the long game. And guess what? It worked. Today, Musk is leading some of the most innovative companies in the world. Tesla is pushing the electric car revolution forward, and SpaceX is sending rockets into space. That's the key. He was willing to make massive sacrifices, delay immediate gratification, and invest everything he had into his future vision. Musk didn't build his empire in a year or two. He made small sacrifices, delayed personal satisfaction, and poured everything he had into his long-term goals. That's the power of delayed gratification. Athletes, the sacrifice of instant gratification for longevity. Let's talk about athletes, specifically someone like LeBron James. LeBron James didn't get to the top of his game by partying, eating whatever he wanted, or ignoring his training. He made small sacrifices every day for long-term greatness. LeBron's discipline is legendary. He spends thousands of dollars a year just to maintain his body. That's the key. He understands that small sacrifices now lead to massive rewards later. He didn't take shortcuts. He didn't let himself get comfortable. He delayed gratification to become the best in the world at what he does. LeBron didn't just work hard on game day. He worked hard every single day, making small sacrifices to stay in peak condition even when no one was watching. That's the key. Delayed gratification in action over and over again, leading to long-term success. How you can apply delayed gratification to your own life. So, now you've seen how delayed gratification works in the real world. But the question is, how can you apply it to your own life? Step 1. Start with a vision. You can't delay gratification if you don't know what you're working toward. Start with a clear vision of where you want to be in 5, 10, or 20 years. The more specific your vision, the easier it is to make the sacrifices today. Step 2. Make small sacrifices every day. It's not about making one huge sacrifice. It's about making small, consistent decisions that add up over time. Choose the long-term reward, whether that's saving for retirement, investing in yourself, or building a business. Every small sacrifice you make today will lead to something bigger tomorrow. Step 3. Stay consistent. Remember, consistency is everything. Don't expect instant results. Be patient. Stick to your plan. The best results come from the long-term game, and that requires consistency. Keep showing up even when it gets hard. Chapter 10. The price of immediate gratification. Are you paying the cost of mediocrity? Let's get real for a moment. Every time you give in to instant gratification, you're paying a price. It's not just about what you're giving up today, it's about the long-term cost you're stacking up. You have a choice. That's the key. Do you want to keep paying the price of mediocrity, or do you want to start investing in the extraordinary future that's waiting for you? Let me tell you something. Instant gratification is the enemy of greatness. Every moment you choose the easy way out, every time you reach for the quick reward, you're sacrificing your future. And here's the hard truth. You can't have both. You can't have the instant pleasure and the long-term success. You are paying a hidden cost every time you choose immediate satisfaction over future success. And that price is mediocrity, a life of just enough, of missed opportunities, of unfulfilled potential. That's the price you're paying. The hidden cost of instant gratification. What are you sacrificing? Let's break it down. What are you sacrificing when you choose instant pleasure over long-term rewards? First, you're sacrificing growth. Every time you choose short-term satisfaction, you're choosing to stay comfortable, to stay where you are. And comfort is the killer of success. That's the key. Success comes when you step out of your comfort zone, when you make the tough choices today so that tomorrow you'll be stronger, wealthier, healthier, and more fulfilled. You're sacrificing your future. You're trading your dreams for small distractions, for little rewards that don't add anything to your life in the long run. Every impulse you satisfy today is a step away from your goals, your vision, and your ultimate potential. The cost of mediocrity. Why small choices matter. I'm going to say it again. Every small choice matters. Those little decisions you make daily, they add up. And the price? Mediocrity. When you keep choosing short-term rewards, when you keep taking the easy path, you're choosing mediocrity over excellence. You're choosing a life that's fine instead of one that's extraordinary. You're choosing to stay average when you have the potential for greatness. Think about it. The difference between the average person and the high achiever is this. The high achiever understands that mediocrity comes from those small, daily choices. They understand that every time you choose the easy route, you're stacking up a price that's far more costly than any immediate reward. That's the key. Mediocrity is a result of your choices. The small things you do today, the little sacrifices you make or don't make, they add up to either greatness or mediocrity. It's that simple. The price of missed opportunities. You want the truth? Instant gratification robs you of opportunities. You can't see it in the moment. You're thinking about how good it feels to buy that thing, eat that food, or scroll through social media. But what you're not seeing is the opportunity cost, the opportunity you missed by not investing that time, that money, that energy, into something that would actually move the needle. Every time you give in to instant pleasure, you're saying no to something bigger, something that could change your life. And here's the thing, opportunities don't wait for you. The moment you miss today is gone forever. That's the key. You're not just sacrificing the present. You're sacrificing your future opportunities. Every choice you make that doesn't align with your long-term goals is a choice you'll regret when the opportunity has passed. Opportunities don't wait for you to get your act together. The long-term effects of instant gratification. A life of regret. Let's get blunt. Instant gratification will leave you with a life of regret. When you choose the quick fix, the fleeting pleasure, over the long-term work, you're choosing a future where you look back and wish you had done things differently. Think about all the people who regret the things they didn't do. They didn't invest in themselves. They didn't take the time to learn, to grow, to push themselves. Why? Because they wanted the quick, easy reward. They wanted comfort. They wanted to avoid the discomfort of sacrifice. And now they're stuck. They're living with the regret of all the opportunities they let slip away. That's the key. Instant gratification gives you temporary pleasure, but it leaves you with long-term regret. The truth is, the best time to act is right now. The more you delay, the more you pay. Don't pay the price of mediocrity. Don't let your future self look back with regret. How to avoid the cost of mediocrity. So, how do you avoid paying this price? How do you stop the cycle of instant gratification and break free from mediocrity? Step 1. Reframe your mindset. You need to shift your mindset. Stop seeing delayed gratification as a sacrifice. See it as an investment in your future. The more you practice patience and focus on long-term goals, the more you build a future that is anything but mediocre. Step 2. Understand the cost. Every time you indulge in instant gratification, you're trading your future for temporary satisfaction. That's the cost. Recognize it. Call it out. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of thinking that small choices don't matter. They do, they add up. They define your future. Step 3. Make the hard choices now. The hardest choices today are the ones that will pay off tomorrow. That's the key. Choosing to delay gratification, to do what others won't do, will set you apart from the masses. Make the hard choices now, and you won't have to live with the regret later. Chapter 11. The freedom of delayed gratification, how it sets you free to achieve anything. Let me tell you something that most people don't understand. Delayed gratification is not a burden. It's freedom. That's the key. When you choose delayed gratification, you unlock true freedom. Freedom from instant distractions, freedom from the chains of short-term thinking, and freedom to build a life on your own terms. You see, most people are trapped in a cycle. They want everything now, and they're constantly chasing after quick rewards. But the truth is, that's not freedom. That's slavery. You're a slave to your impulses, a slave to your emotions, and a slave to the need for immediate satisfaction. But you can break free. When you start delaying gratification, you start building something that truly matters. You start building the life you've always wanted, the one where you don't have to chase fleeting highs, but where success, fulfillment, and wealth are yours to keep. Delayed gratification. Freedom from impulse. Let's start here. Delayed gratification is freedom from your impulses. Your impulses are constantly telling you to act now, to get it now, to have it now. That's the trap. You keep chasing after quick wins, and all you end up with is momentary satisfaction. But here's the truth. Impulse controls you unless you learn to control it. When you give in to your impulses, you let them dictate your decisions. You let them decide how you spend your time, your money, your energy. You give them all the power. That's the key. Delaying gratification gives you back that power. It's the power to make decisions that align with your long-term vision, not your fleeting desires. When you can resist the urge for instant pleasure, you gain freedom from the constant cycle of seeking more, of never feeling satisfied. And that's when the real freedom begins. Delayed gratification. Freedom to build the life you want. Here's the thing. Delayed gratification isn't about denying yourself pleasures. It's about investing in your future so that you can enjoy true freedom later on. The people who build massive success, wealth, and fulfillment are the ones who delayed gratification when it mattered. Think about it. Every moment you delay that small pleasure, whether it's putting off spending money you don't need to spend, putting in the hard work at the gym, or making an investment instead of blowing cash on instant gratification, you're building your future. You're creating the freedom to live life on your own terms. That's the key. Delayed gratification gives you the freedom to create the life you've always dreamed of. It's not about the momentary fix. It's about investing in your future so that you can live on your terms, without worrying about the consequences of living paycheck to paycheck, always stressed, always chasing the next high. How delayed gratification unlocks long-term freedom. Here's the truth. The more you delay instant gratification, the more freedom you gain. When you choose to invest your time, your money, and your energy in things that build long-term success, you build the life you've always wanted. Look at the wealthiest, most successful people in the world. They don't focus on the short term. They focus on building long-term wealth, health, and happiness. They understand the power of delayed gratification. And as a result, they experience the kind of freedom that comes with long-term planning and patience. That's the key. Delaying gratification gives you the freedom to build the life you want. It's the freedom from debt, the freedom from the anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck, the freedom from always feeling like you're falling behind. It's the freedom to wake up every day knowing that your choices today are building the future you desire. Freedom from mediocrity. How delayed gratification sets you apart. Now let's talk about mediocrity. Mediocrity is the price you pay for instant gratification. It's the price of always chasing the easy way out. It's the price of choosing comfort over growth. It's the price of choosing today's satisfaction over tomorrow's success. But when you choose delayed gratification, you free yourself from the trap of mediocrity. That's the key. You set yourself apart from everyone else who is constantly chasing the next shiny object, the next quick win. You choose to take the harder path, and that's what makes you great. You break the cycle and start building something real, something lasting. And that, my friend, is freedom. True freedom comes from not being stuck in the cycle of instant rewards, but from building your life on the foundation of patience, persistence, and discipline. You create a future where success is inevitable, not because it's handed to you, but because you've earned it by choosing delayed gratification every step of the way. Delayed gratification. Freedom to choose your own path. Here's the final piece of the puzzle. When you master delayed gratification, you give yourself the freedom to choose your own path. You no longer have to live by the rules of the world around you. You create your own rules, your own future, your own success. Think about it. Delaying gratification means you don't have to rely on anyone else. You don't need someone to give you permission to live your dream life. You don't need a boss to tell you what to do. You've built your future by your own choices. And that's the ultimate freedom. That's the key. Delayed gratification gives you the power to choose your own destiny. It's not about waiting for life to give you what you want. It's about taking control and making it happen on your terms. It's about freedom. Freedom to build the life you want. Freedom to make decisions that align with your vision. Freedom to create your own success. You've learned it. You've felt it. Every moment you seek instant gratification, you're robbing your future self of the success you deserve. Every impulse you resist today, every small sacrifice you make, is a powerful investment in your tomorrow. You've seen the science, you've heard the stories, and now it's your turn. The question is, are you ready to stop trading long-term success for short-term pleasure? This is your challenge. Choose now and start investing in your future by mastering the art of delayed gratification. Now let today be the day you stop being controlled by immediate desires and start building the lasting success you've always dreamed of. Your future self will thank you. So, what will you choose?